Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. When I was a kid, I used to love to watch reality TV. One of my favorite shows was Survivor. And it occurred to me that when they got 10, 12, or however many contestants there were on the island, how they very seldom had two people with the same first name. And I had a very common name, so I thought if I wanted to increase my chances of getting on Survivor, I had better change my name someday. I was in 8th grade when we had just watched season 1 of Survivor, and so I came up with all sorts of wacky names that I could change my name to. One of my favorite math problems as a kid was Ramsey theory. It's a graph theory problem involving coming up with graphs with very interesting properties, and I thought about changing my name to Ramsey. And I would joke about it. When I got my first credit card, I realized that you could add authorized users to the credit card, and as a joke, I would write all sorts of names. And the credit card companies never really checked if the names made any sense. And one time I applied for a credit card under the name of Fuck You, and a week later, I couldn't believe my eyes. A letter had arrived in the mail addressed to Fuck You on the envelope. I couldn't believe it. I still have it at my parents' home. I framed it because it was so funny to see a Chase Bank envelope addressed to Fuck You. And it came with a credit card. And so a few years after that, one time I was checking my own credit report just to make sure everything was in the up and up. And on your credit report, it shows aliases that you go by. And it showed all of the aliases that I had used to apply for authorized users as credit cards. And among them was Fuck You. I don't know if it hurt me or anything because who knows? A lot of potential employers check credit reports and they'll see Fuck You on there. I think recently I saw Peter Dislike on there. I must have used it for something. I can't remember what, though. So I still need to change my last name to Dislike because I live my entire life as a giant dislike, right? I often don't get my way because my views are not popular, even though they might be just as sane as everybody else, right? So, for example, at my workplaces, a lot of times I don't get treated the same because I have different ideologies of how I want to live my life, right? I have different eating habits, different hobbies, different relationships. And I feel like, you guys remember how same-sex couples were treated 20, 30 years ago. I sometimes feel like I'm still fighting that fight, right? And so I think a dislike would be an appropriate. I live my entire life as one giant dislike finger. I also thought about getting a tattoo on my forehead with the whole dislike finger to remind people that there are differences in views. And one thing I love about the dislike is if you like things that are heavily disliked by society, a lot of times you could take advantage, right? If you're investing in some kind of investment that people haven't caught on yet, right? If you in the dating life, if there are characteristics that you like that are heavily disliked, you definitely have an advantage there, right? If you like a job that nobody else likes for some bizarre reason, or maybe other people consider it dirty and dangerous, but you like doing it, you definitely have a huge advantage there, right? You get the idea, right? It's a double-edged sword sometimes. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.